are not losing respect because you are weak. You are losing it because you keep asking for permission to exist. Every time you explain yourself, you hand people a leash. Every time you react, you show them where to pull. Most people beg for respect with noise. They try to win it with arguments, emotions, and constant availability. And the more they reach, the less they are valued. Because respect is not given to the needy. Respect is given to the person who can withhold access. Understand this. Silence is not shyness. Silence is a weapon of position. When you stop defending your image, you stop being controllable. The world reads desperation like blood in water. So when you chase respect, predators smell you. They provoke you to make you perform. They question you to make you overexplain. They disrespect you to make you explode. Not because they are brave, because they want to confirm you are easy to move. Machiavelli would tell you the same law in a harsher way. Never negotiate your status with emotion. You take it by controlling what people can get from you. Your attention, your words, your reactions, your approval. The moment they cannot extract these, the balance shifts. People do not respect what they can summon instantly. If they can make you speak, they can make you submit. The loud man looks strong until someone refuses to respond. The calm man looks dangerous because he is unreadable. Respect follows certainty, not pleading. It follows limits, not explanations. If you want respect, remove your need to be understood. Let them misunderstand you and still feel your control. Let them feel that access to you has a price. When you speak less, every word gains weight. When you react less, every reaction becomes a decision. This is how you stop being a target. This is how you stop being entertainment. This is how you become a problem they cannot solve. This video is not about being rude. It is about refusing to be available on demand. It is about building a presence that does not chase, a presence that watches, a presence that decides. You will learn how to stay calm when they test you, how to answer without giving them leverage, how to set boundaries without speeches, how to make disrespect expensive without raising your voice, and how to leave people confused because they cannot read you. Use this for protection, not destruction, because power without discipline turns into chaos, but discipline without power turns into obedience. Now, do not chase respect with speeches. Let your stillness speak louder than them. This is strategic silence. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I take respect in silence. Let me see who's really ready for this. Let's begin. You think respect is earned by effort. It is not. Respect is controlled by access. When people can reach you anytime, they stop valuing you. They start treating you like a service. They message you with a tone they would never use in person. They demand explanations they never had the right to ask for. And you keep responding fast to prove you are reasonable. That speed looks like humility to you. To them, it looks like need. Need is visible. Visible need makes you predictable. Predictable people are easy to move. Access is leverage. If they control your attention, they control your position. They do not have to defeat you, they only have to summon you. One rude text, one lazy request, and you show up to defend yourself. That is not communication. That is obedience in a nicer outfit. Most people lose authority slowly. They leak it through instant replies. They leak it through availability without cost. The moment you remove that access, the atmosphere changes. Not because you became mean, because you stopped being easy. Silence is a boundary without noise. When you do not answer immediately, you force them to wait. Waiting reminds them you are not owned. Distance makes them measure their words. Picture this. They send a disrespectful message at midnight. Old you replies in 60 seconds. New you leaves it unread until you decide. That is how respect is trained. Not by speeches, by consequences. If someone comes at you with disrespect, do not rush to fix the mood. Do not rush to prove your intentions. Let time do the correction. Reply when you choose. Reply with fewer words than they expect. Keep Keep your tone flat. Keep your message clean. If they want access, they earn it with behavior. If they want your attention, they pay for it with respect. Machiavelli understood this without romance. Control is not what you say. Control is what people can get from you. When access becomes scarce, your presence becomes heavy. And heavy things are treated carefully. Stop being instantly reachable. Make your attention a privilege. Respect follows the person who can withhold access. You think explaining makes you look reasonable. It usually makes you look unsure. The more you speak, the more leverage you donate. Explanation feels like clarity to you. To them, it feels like negotiation. Every extra sentence is a handle they can grab. Disrespect rarely wants truth. It wants reaction. It wants you to step into a trial you never agreed to attend. They accuse. You defend. Now you are standing in a courtroom that exists only in their frame. You start listing reasons. You start proving intentions. You start justifying your tone. And without noticing, you are auditioning for approval. Approval is a weak position. Authority does not audition. Authority states and stops. The correction is brutal in its simplicity. Say one line, then close it. That doesn't work for me. No reasons, no history, no emotional paragraph. If they push, repeat the same line. If they continue, remove yourself. You are not there to win understanding. You are there to protect position. Short sentences create weight. Long explanations create doubt. When you keep talking, you signal fear of losing them. When you stop talking, you signal readiness to lose the moment. And the one who can lose the moment controls the pace. Most people overexplain to avoid tension. They rush to smooth the air. They rush to keep everyone comfortable. Comfort is not the goal. Control is. When you speak less, you become harder to manipulate. There are fewer angles to attack, fewer phrases to twist, fewer emotions to exploit. Your words should be like closed doors. Clear, firm, uninviting to debate. This does not make you cold, it makes you insulated. If someone tries to drag you into circular argument, do not follow them. State your line, hold eye contact, let the silence do the rest. They will either adjust, or they will reveal their need for dominance. Both outcomes give you information. The less material you give, the less control they have. Control begins where explanation ends. Silence is not empty. Silence is pressure. Most people cannot survive a gap. They rush to fill it with nervous words. They laugh too quickly. They explain too soon. They surrender the frame without realizing it. The pause exposes who is uncomfortable, and the uncomfortable one usually folds first. In conflict, the first to speak often concedes position. They mistake movement for strength, but movement under pressure is leakage. When someone challenges you publicly, they expect heat, they expect speed, they expect you to defend your image. Instead, give them stillness. Hold eye contact. Let the air stretch. Do not smile to ease it. Do not rush to correct it. Make them sit in their own words. That pause does something powerful. It signals you are not threatened. It signals you are not scrambling. It forces them to hear what they just said. Often, their own tone starts to sound childish. Often, their aggression loses oxygen. After the pause, respond briefly. Or a clean verdict. Is that how you see it? Or, that's not accurate. Nothing more. No emotional layering. No speech. Your restraint makes their energy look unstable. Your composure makes their attempt look small. Silence turns their attack into exposure. They wanted control. They found a mirror. The longer you stay steady, the more they doubt themselves. People fold when their performance receives no reaction. They expected drama. You gave them discipline. They expected noise. You gave them distance. The pause is not weakness. It is leverage in slow motion. Stay still long enough, and their power collapses under its own volume. Silence makes the loudest person look unsure. Disrespect rarely arrives as open hostility. It arrives disguised as humor. A small comment, a subtle jab, a smile that lingers too long. You are told it is just a joke. It is not. It is a probe. They are testing your boundary. They want to see how far they can step. If you laugh along, you approve the step. If you explode, you entertain the room. Both reactions reward the behavior. Rewarded behavior repeats. Most people choose one of those two extremes. They either shrink to keep peace, or they flare up to protect ego. Both positions lose leverage. The correct response is controlled correction. Calm, measured, unemotional. When someone mocks you publicly, do not perform. Look at them steadily. Then say, explain it, and stop. Do not smile to soften it. Do not add context. Let the silence stretch. Most people collapse under their own words. Their joke sounds weaker when forced into clarity. They start backtracking. They start adjusting tone. If they double down, you end it cleanly. One sentence. Don't speak to me like that. Then disengage. Later, you adjust access. Fewer replies. Less warmth. Less proximity. You do not announce the consequence. You simply enforce it. Your goal is not revenge. Your goal is to remove the payoff. When disrespect becomes inconvenient, it disappears. People test what feels safe. When it stops feeling safe, they recalibrate. Stay polite, stay steady, but do not participate in your own diminishment. Troll is not loud. Troll is changing the outcome without raising the temperature. Disrespect is a test. Pass it once, and they think twice next time. You do not have a boundary problem. You have an enforcement problem. Most people talk about standards. Very few change behavior when those standards are crossed. A boundary that needs constant explanation is already weak. The moment you start negotiating it in real time, you lose position. Boundaries fail when they become discussions. You explain why something hurt you. You explain why it matters. You explain what you expect next time. And nothing changes. Why? Because words are cheap. Access is not. Real boundaries are private decisions first. You decide what you tolerate. You decide what earns proximity. Then you enforce it without drama. No speech, no announcement, just adjustment. Imagine a friend who cancels on you repeatedly, then suddenly demands your time. Old you lectures. Old you explains disappointment. New you reduces availability. You answer less. You offer fewer openings. You stop rearranging your schedule. You reward consistency with access. You punish chaos with distance. You do not threaten consequences. You become the consequence. Machiavelli understood incentives better than emotions. Rewards and consequences teach faster than speeches. If someone crosses a line and nothing changes, that line was imaginary. If someone crosses a line and access shifts, the lesson becomes real. A boundary is not what you say in the moment. A boundary is what changes after the moment. People study your reactions. They measure what you allow to continue. If disrespect continues comfortably, you approved it. If chaos still receives your time, you endorsed it. Distance is often the cleanest enforcement. Silence can communicate more than confrontation. You do not need to convince them you are serious. You need to act serious. When behavior shifts immediately after violation, people recalibrate. They realize the cost is not theoretical. They feel it. Boundaries are not speeches. Boundaries are structural changes in access, and structure commands more respect than emotion ever will. Your tone reveals your position before your words do. Status is heard before it is understood. When your voice rises, you are reacting to their frame. When your voice stays low and steady, you are setting the frame. People listen for instability. They listen for speed. They listen for heat. If they hear it, they know they moved you. Being moved is being controlled. In tense moments, slow down deliberately. Speak slower than your normal rhythm. Use fewer words than you think you need. Short answers carry weight. Long answers carry doubt. When someone tries to bait you with disrespect, they want energy. They want you fast. They want you loud. They want you emotional. Give them none of it. Let them feel their own urgency while you remain composed. Respond like a judge delivering a verdict, not like a defendant pleading a case. A defendant tries to convince. A judge decides. That difference is felt instantly. When you speak with controlled pace, you signal certainty. When you avoid emotional spikes, you signal insulation. Your calm tone communicates one message clearly. You are not here to earn approval. You are not here to argue for dignity. You are here to state terms. Often, that signal alone makes people step back. They sense there is no opening to push. Cold delivery makes your boundary feel final. Heat invites negotiation. Negotiation invites disrespect. If your voice shakes, they will test again. If your voice stays firm, they will measure themselves. This is not about sounding aggressive. It is about sounding immovable. Controlled tone shifts perception without raising conflict. It lowers the temperature while raising authority. You do not need volume to command space. You need restraint. Restraint forces others to regulate around you. When you speak like a judge, you stop performing for the room, and the room adjusts to your pace. Authority is often nothing more than disciplined delivery. Your face speaks before your mouth does. Most people lose control through expression. A raised eyebrow, a tight jaw, a forced smile, micro reactions or maps. If they see anger, they see your trigger. If they see hurt, they see your weak point. Once they see it, they know where to strike next. That is why you train the neutral mask. Neutral does not mean blank. It means controlled. It means unreadable. A coworker throws a passive-aggressive comment. They watch your face more than your reply. They are searching for confirmation. Do not give it. Do not smirk. Do not frown. Do not rush to defend. Keep your expression still. Let your eyes stay calm. Then respond with a clean boundary. Short, measured, finished. When your face gives no reward, the provocation loses purpose. People repeat what entertains them. They stop what feels pointless. Neutrality removes their payoff. It also protects your decisions. Public pressure works through visible emotion. If they see discomfort, they push harder. If they see nothing, they hesitate. Unreadable people are expensive to manipulate. There are no emotional handles to grab. Stillness becomes insulation. It separates your internal reaction from external display. You may feel something inside, but you choose what is visible. That choice is control. When they cannot read you, they cannot steer you. Uncertainty makes them cautious. Caution breeds respect. The unknown has weight. Train your face like you train your words. Calm, composed, unmoved. The neutral mask is not weakness. It is silent leverage. Your yes has value only when it is rare. If you agree to everything, your agreement becomes ordinary. Ordinary things are not respected. They are expected. The moment people assume your cooperation, they stop appreciating it. Constant availability creates silent entitlement. They begin to believe you owe them time. You do not. Selective cooperation is discipline, not attitude, not arrogance. Discipline. When someone asks for a favor and then shows subtle disrespect, watch carefully. They are measuring your tolerance. If you still say yes, you confirm their position. You confirm that access to you has no cost. Instead, decline cleanly. Not possible, then stop. No apology, no emotional padding, no long justification. A refusal without guilt signals strength. It tells them you do not fear their disappointment. Fear of displeasure is the root of overcommitment. And overcommitment breeds quiet resentment. Resentment leaks through tone. Resentment exposes need. Need destroys authority. Your goal is not to be liked. Your goal is to be treated correctly. When your yes becomes rare, it gains weight. People start qualifying themselves before asking. They start choosing their tone carefully. They start respecting your schedule. Time is a status symbol. Protect it. The more you guard your time, the more others value it. If your calendar bends for anyone, your position bends with it. Say yes only when it aligns with your priorities. Say no when it does not, and do it without emotional noise. You are not required to soften every boundary. You are required to maintain it. A rare yes builds leverage. An automatic yes builds dependence. Dependence invites exploitation. Scarcity creates respect. Make your yes rare. Authority follows. You do not need closure from someone who disrespects you. Closure is often disguised begging. You keep talking to feel resolved. They keep talking to stay in control. The longer the conversation continues, the weaker your position becomes. Disrespect thrives in repetition. Circular arguments are traps. They pull you into emotional loops. Each loop drains authority. When a discussion turns insulting, the decision is simple. End it early, end it cleanly, end it without residue. Say, "We're done here," then leave. No final speech, no dramatic exit line, no last emotional strike. Calm departure signals certainty. Staying to win the final word signals insecurity. Most people chase resolution. They want the other person to understand. They want the conflict neatly wrapped. But understanding is not required for control. Distance is. When you walk away without explaining further, you shift leverage. You prove you can lose the interaction. You prove you can lose them. The person who can leave owns the outcome. After you exit, adjust access. Fewer replies, fewer meetings, fewer opportunities. Do not announce the change. Just enforce it. Walking away is not dramatic when it is composed. Drama requires emotion. Authority requires restraint. Calm endings feel final. They leave no emotional hooks behind. The other person is left with their own noise. You are left with your position intact. You do not chase clarity from chaos. You remove yourself from it. The ability to leave without explaining is power. Silence after exit is leverage. Warnings do not build respect. Patterns do. Anyone can threaten in the moment. Few people follow through later. If your standards change with mood, they are not standards. They are suggestions, and suggestions are ignored. You do not need dramatic speeches about loyalty. You need visible consequences. When someone disrespects you and then acts normal the next day, watch carefully. If you reset as if nothing happened, you just exposed yourself. You taught them your limits are negotiable. You showed them your boundaries were emotional, not structural. Instead, adjust access. Keep your tone neutral, but reduce availability. Cancel the favor you were planning. Delay responses. Remove small privileges. Do not announce punishment. Just implement it. This is not revenge. It is conditioning. People adapt to patterns faster than they respond to words. If disrespect reduces access every time, behavior changes. Not because they suddenly respect you emotionally, because the cost became real. That is the only respect that lasts. The respect built on incentive and consequence. If they apologize, do not rush to restore everything. Accept it calmly, without warmth. Then observe. Watch consistency over time. Access returns slowly, not instantly. If access returns instantly, the lesson disappears instantly. Respect is not proven by what someone says in one moment. It is proven by what they repeat across many moments. You are building a reputation that disrespect carries weight, a reputation that boundaries are enforced. Once that reputation is stable, fewer tests appear. People manage themselves around you, not out of fear, out of recognition. Consequences teach faster than lectures ever will. And once the pattern is clear, silence does the rest. Potential does not deserve reward. Behavior does. Most people praise intention. They celebrate promises. They reward effort before results. That weakens position. Praise is currency. If you hand it out freely, it loses value. If everyone receives it, no one respects it. Strategic compliments build leverage. Random compliments destroy it. When someone improves their behavior toward you, acknowledge it briefly. Keep it short. Keep it controlled. Then return to neutral. Do not create an emotional reward loop. Do not flood them with approval. Approval addiction creates complacency. At the same time, withdraw when standards drop. Do not argue. Do not threaten. Reduce presence. Reduce warmth. Let absence speak. Absence creates contrast. Contrast creates awareness. People notice what disappears. They adjust to regain it. Your presence should feel structured, not emotional, not random. When good behavior brings stable access, they connect the pattern. When bad behavior brings silence, they connect that pattern too. Now your presence becomes a system, not a mood. Systems command more respect than feelings. If you become a source of free validation, you become predictable. Predictable validation makes people careless. They stop earning it. They assume it. Assumption breeds disrespect. You are not here to encourage everyone constantly. You are here to reinforce standards. Reward consistency. Ignore potential. Ignore promises. Watch actions. Respond to patterns. When praise is rare and precise, it carries weight. When absence follows decline, it carries warning. Together they create balance. You are not manipulating. You are structuring incentives. And structure builds authority. Reward behavior. Never reward possibility. Confrontation is not a performance. It is a line drawn once. Most people repeat complaints. They circle the issue again and again. Repetition signals dependence. It tells the other person you need change more than they do. That weakens position. When you must confront, do it cleanly, do it once. State the standard clearly. State the consequence calmly. Then stop. No emotional layering, no extra explanation, no history lesson. Speak to me with respect, or this conversation ends. That is enough. If they test it, enforce immediately. End the conversation. Leave the room. Disconnect the call. Do not argue about the boundary. Do not soften it to keep comfort. Softening teaches them to push again. Immediate enforcement teaches them to adjust. One action does more than 100 warnings. Authority is not loud. It is consistent. If you threaten and do nothing, you lose leverage. If you act without drama, you gain it. This is not about winning the moment. It is about building a reputation that standards are real, a reputation that consequences follow instantly. After enforcement, return to normal. Do not sulk. Do not overexplain. Do not revisit the issue. Normality signals confidence. It shows you are never begging for peace. You are setting terms. When people know exactly what happens if they cross you, tension decreases. Clarity removes confusion. Confusion invites testing. Clean authority removes testing. Confront once. Enforce once. Move on. The power is not in the warning. The power is in the follow-through. Silence without detachment will eventually collapse. You can stay quiet on the outside. But if you still need approval inside, you will break. This is where most people fail. They control their words. They do not control their need. Emotional debt is the hidden chain. You feel responsible for other people's reactions. You feel pressure to restore comfort. You feel guilty when someone is upset with you. That guilt becomes leverage against you. If you set a boundary and they get angry, watch your instinct. Old you rushes to fix it. Old you explains again. Old you softens the line. New you stays steady. Their anger is information. It is not a command. You do not rescue them from their discomfort. You do not manage their emotions for them. You allow them to feel what they feel. And you remain composed. Detachment is not coldness. It is insulation from manipulation. When you stop absorbing their emotional waves, you stop being steered. Guilt loses power when you refuse to act on it. If someone is displeased with your boundary, let them be displeased. If someone withdraws because you enforced a standard, let them withdraw. The ability to tolerate displeasure is freedom. Most people chase harmony at any cost. You choose self-respect over temporary peace. Respect follows the person who can stand alone, not the person who begs for applause. When you no longer owe anyone emotional comfort, your silence becomes stable. No chasing, no fixing, no proving. Detachment is the core of silent dominance, and silent dominance cannot be pressured. Not every room deserves your standards. Some rooms reward discipline. Some rooms punish it. If you keep seeking respect in cheap rooms, you will keep paying with dignity. Environment shapes perception. Perception shapes status. If you stand firm among people who mock boundaries, they will frame you as rigid. If you stay calm among people who reward chaos, they will call you distant. Do not waste strength trying to reform low-quality spaces. You are not a missionary. You are a strategist. A social circle that laughs at limits is not confused. It is aligned around disorder. If you remain there, you adapt downward. You start explaining yourself more. You start softening standards to fit in. That is how identity erodes. Machiavelli understood alliances clearly. They are chosen, not inherited. You are shaped by what you tolerate repeatedly. If you tolerate noise, you become reactive. If you tolerate disrespect, you become discounted. When you upgrade your circle, interpretation shifts. Silence stops being seen as weakness. It starts being read as control. Restraint starts looking powerful instead of awkward. Rooms set rules silently. If you stay, you accept those rules. If you leave, you reject them. Staying is a vote. Leaving is a decision. Do not chase validation from people who profit from your compliance. Move toward people who respect time. Move toward people who understand standards. Environment is leverage. Choose it carefully. Your silence deserves a room that understands it. Stillness is not a trick. It is a long game. You are not trying to win one argument. You are building a reputation. A reputation that your emotions are inaccessible, that you cannot be rushed, that you cannot be baited. Reputation forms through repetition. Calm responses, short words, delayed access, clean exits, again and again. People test what they do not understand. They will try you once. They will try you again weeks later. They will look for cracks. Your job is simple. Respond the same way every time. No anger, no explanation, no dramatic shift in tone. Consistency forces adjustment. When they realize you cannot be moved, they stop pushing. Not because they like you, because the effort becomes pointless. Respect is rarely emotional. It is practical. It is people adapting to standards they cannot bend. If your reactions change with pressure, your reputation collapses. If your reactions stay stable, your authority compounds. Most people choose approval. They talk more to feel safe. They explain more to feel understood. That life is easier in the short term. But it keeps you predictable. Predictability invites manipulation. Power requires a different cost. The cost is being misunderstood. The cost is being called distant. The cost is standing alone in your position. If you want constant approval, keep performing. If you want leverage, accept silence. Over time, stillness becomes identity. People approach you differently. They measure themselves before speaking. They calculate tone. They regulate behavior, not because you demanded it, because your pattern trained them. Reputation of stillness is quiet dominance. And once it is established, it protects you automatically. This is the point of no return. Respect was never designed to be requested. It was designed to be structured. Through access, through discipline, through consequence. Most people spend years trying to be understood. Very few spend time becoming immovable. That is the difference. When you stop chasing respect, you start controlling it. When you stop explaining yourself, you start defining the pace. If silence still feels uncomfortable, examine that discomfort. It is not weakness. It is withdrawal from approval. You were conditioned to respond fast, to fix tension quickly, to smooth every misunderstanding. That habit made you predictable. Predictability made you manageable. Manageable people are rarely respected. The shift you made in this video is not about attitude. It is about structure. You removed instant access. You removed over-explanation. You removed emotional debt. And when those disappear, leverage appears. Understand this clearly. Once you stop begging for understanding, you cannot comfortably return to it. You cannot unknow what controlled silence does to perception. You cannot unsee how distance reshapes behavior. There are now two identities in front of you: the agreeable one who is liked, and the disciplined one who is respected. The agreeable one repairs every ripple. The disciplined one allows tension to exist. The agreeable one fears disapproval. The disciplined one tolerates it. Power begins where fear of displeasing others ends. The person others quietly label dangerous is not aggressive. It is the one who does not flinch, the one who does not rush, the one who does not negotiate standards. That is you when silence becomes consistent. So turn this into action. Refuse one request that disrespects your time. End one conversation that circles without respect. Delay one response that would have been instant. Let someone experience the absence of automatic access. If this changed how you see your position, act accordingly. Like this video to signal alignment with disciplined power. Share it with someone who keeps confusing kindness with compliance. Subscribe if you are ready to build authority instead of chasing approval. Then leave this in the comments: I choose discipline over approval. Not as emotion, as a structure. Because once you choose it, there is no comfortable return to who you were. Now go make it visible.